This is Father Andrew Ritchie, and you're listening to Catholic Inspiration, a podcast from my website at studyprayserve.com. These homilies, presentations, and retreats form part of my ministry as a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Superior. And now I invite you to open your hearts to some Catholic inspiration. Today is Thursday of the 29th week of the year. Our gospel reading is Luke chapter 12, verses 49 to 53. Jesus said to his disciples, "I have come to set the earth on fire, and how I wish it were already blazing. There is a baptism with which I must be baptized. How great is my anguish until it is accomplished. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on the earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, a household of 5 will be divided, 3 against 2, 2 against 3. A father will be divided against his son, a son against his father. A mother against her daughter, a daughter against her mother. A mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. I have come to set the earth on fire." Now we've got this notion here of this blazing fire, a baptism, and division. Let's start first with the fire. Scholars will look at this passage in a couple of different ways to talk about that symbol of God's presence and love. The kind of fire, think of love that burns away. Think of a campfire, right? That draws us by its warmth and heats us and comforts us. But also fire that can be used to refine and purge. Sometimes how fire will burn away what is dead so that the new life can grow up. Or the fire of a furnace that purifies the ore, pulls out what is impure so that can be removed, and what is left is refined. But we can also talk about fire here, this notion of judgment, a notion that God is going to, with fire, determine which camp we're in. Are we either going to be drawn by the fire of love, or are we going to be burned up into ashes because we've rejected it? That notion then of fire is divine purification. It's going to really set in motion a series of events. Jesus inaugurates that with his presence on earth. God is present to the world. God is doing something extraordinary, a new covenant. And that baptism, that's the baptism of the Lord's paschal mystery, his saving death and resurrection. The cross, Calvary, an empty tomb that will lead to his ascension. That baptism, which becomes the gateway by which we are reconciled to God. The possibility that we can be purified by God's heavenly fire. And therein lies the division, friends. You see, in the end, we pick our side. We're either going to be facing Jesus or walking away. We're either going to be standing with the Lord or we're going to be walking into the darkness. But the division is sharp. And here we have this understanding that a love for God transcends our family love. And that kind of love for the Lord is going to cause us to pick our side. And there will be division even within the hearts of our families. This is a real choice we make. It's all or nothing. We're either going to be ultimately with the Lord or we're going to be apart. And so the interesting point today is when we have those moments where we are purified, purged by fire, painful moments, difficult choices, moments of doubt or fear or confusion. This is when we turn to the Lord. This is when we call upon help from heaven. This is when we ask out of faith because we're flying blind. And it's only our trust in Jesus that continues to show us a path, guide us, and give us the strength to carry it out. But if this is going to make sense at all for us today, friends, if we're going to apply this, and we look for where is that fire burning in our lives right now? The fire of God's love. A purifying fire, a penetrating fire. A kind of fire that reveals God's judgment and will really, in the end, cause us to say which side of God's commandments do we come down on? Do we stand with the Lord or apart? I don't know what's going on in your life right now today, but I know this. This particular passage, challenging as it is meant to inspire us to embrace the fire of God's love. There will be a purification. We will want to root out all sin, and it will be burned up into ash. But God's love is greater. And when we embrace that love, then the divine fire renews us. It purifies. And it strengthens us, forges us in faith, hope, and love. Where do we see that need for God's fire in our hearts today? Because, friends, as we embrace the fire that comes from the heart of heaven, we also then enter into the very mystery of the Lord's paschal death and resurrection. We're baptized with Christ from death to newness of life. May that inspire us then to choose God, to seek to be with the Lord, that the witness of our lives will blaze out in the darkness that we might find ourselves in the world today, and help others to be drawn into the light that is Christ. God bless you all. This is Father Andrew, and I hope this podcast inspires your faith. Now, if you found it helpful, please share it with a friend, and you can help me by leaving a rating and a review. I keep all my listeners in my daily prayers, and I ask for your prayers in return. God bless you, my friends.